In this video, we're going to talk about the 18-9. If you have that in your soul contract chart, this is a really interesting one to me. I don't have this in my chart, but I just find this really fascinating. So the 18 is a master number. And remember, that means wherever it is, it's going to be either very positive or very negative. So very negative if it's in a karmic or a soul destiny or goal area, but very positive if it's in a talent area. So for this one, some of these other numbers, definitely you have been around the block. Your soul is not a newbie. You know, you've been around the block, done a lot of incarnations, but specifically for this number, you have gone down many different paths and roads, and you've done many different things. And so for this incarnation, God is asking you to make a decision. So that the first thing you need to remember for this number is you have to make a decision. Are you going to follow your spiritual path or not? I mean, you still have that free will in there, right? So you either choose to follow your spiritual path or not. Because you've done all these different things, then now's the time. Now's the time to make a decision. So if this number is in some sort of negative place, then you might have an issue with the past and making mistakes in the past and worrying about what people are going to think of some of the things that you do decide to do. And that's the second thing you have to think about with this number is that there are no mistakes. So like even if you think, oh my gosh, I just made like a complete blunder and an ass out of myself and whatever. No, God wants you to know, your soul wants you to know, all of these things are just learning opportunities. There are no mistakes. So you can't be afraid of mistakes, or you can't not make a decision with this number just because you're afraid of making a mistake. And also you can't consult with others about what decision you should make either. This has to be yours and yours alone. If it's in like more of a talent area or something like that, or, you lean more towards the positive and maybe a goal area, then you are able to make really hard decisions. And instead of looking at the past, you're actually looking towards the future. You're like a big picture in the future type of person. And you can also like follow through with things too, because that's another thing. You need to make a decision and then follow through with it with this number. And then the 9, we've already talked about. You can go back and watch that video if you want more information, but it is literally the most powerful energy out of all these numbers. So the 9 now is going to give you that boost, that power that you need to behind you, right? to make that really hard decision. You're going to be able to do that with this 9 energy. But again, if it's in like some sort of negative place, then you might think that you don't deserve this. Or you might actually manifest, this is another thing with the 9s, you could possibly manifest things that are negative situations in your life instead of, you have the power to manifest anything. Like you have that power with a 9, but if it's in a negative place in your chart, then you can actually use that to your detriment and, manifest something that's going to be like negative in your life. So if you have the 18-9 in a karmic area, then again, you're going to feel like maybe you don't deserve to make this decision because of maybe past mistakes that you've made. And so that really factors into your decision making. And so then you end up like not making a decision at all. And so you still have to go through with it. You still have to confront that whole idea about mistakes and say, there are no mistakes. Like all of these are just learning opportunities. So You may not even feel like you're worthy of, choosing a spiritual path or choosing, this like path to God. But nope, there are no mistakes. Just remember that if it's in a karmic area. And then if it's in a talent area, like I said, you are great at making really hard decisions. You're forward thinking, you think of the future, and you follow through. And then a goal is to know that you are powerful enough to make this decision. You are powerful enough and you have everything you need to make this decision and then be successful. So that's a goal if you have that in a goal area. And then a soul destiny is you do need to make that decision, right? And because of all these different paths that you took in the past, then that makes you kind of like not like feel like you're worthy of it, but feel like you've got enough experience under your belt to actually make that choice now. And so then again, that power of the 9 is going to help you with making that decision to like follow that spiritual path. Because the 9 is going to be like, everything's going to be okay. So if you want to know, I don't know if you already know your number. If you don't, you can go to the video here on YouTube and learn how to calculate your numbers on your own. If you want me to do it and give you a full reading, you can order that on my website. And then I'll also tag the 9 video at the end of this one. If you have any questions, let me know.